welcome to Drive 215. Let's go for a drive. This is the 2021 Chevrolet Corvette C8 Stingray. I've had this mid-engine sports car as a press loan from Chevrolet for the past week, during which I've been daily driving it and experiencing all that it has to offer. As always, we'll take a look at the exterior, interior, then we'll go out and take it for a drive. The exterior color of this vehicle is Red Mist Metallic, a $995 option that brings the total MSRP of this vehicle as tested up to $81,260. This is an absolutely gorgeous color, especially in the direct sunlight. Now this is the replacement to the Long Beach Red Metallic, which phased out in 2020. And if you guys recall on the channel about 5 months ago, I had a Long Beach Red Metallic convertible press loan. You guys absolutely crushed that video, over 3,000 likes, so I'm hoping we can do the same on this one. So go ahead and leave a like. Let's go ahead and take a look up front. Up front, we've got a pretty aggressive looking front end. Everything kind of flows in on this vehicle. The lights, the body lines all kind of converge here to the center where this Corvette logo is. Also contributing to that aggressive look of the front end are these dual air intakes that not only look good, but provide functionality in cooling the vehicle. We've also got some cameras located on either side. Now this is a mid-engine vehicle, so there's no engine up here. This is only trunk space. You can open up this trunk in one of three ways. Key fob, a button on the inside, or this little button right here. Push that, it'll pop open. This reveals one of the two trunks in this vehicle. You got one in the back, and that combined gives you 12.6 cubic feet of cargo space. Now I'm 6'5" tall, 200 pounds. It's a little silly demonstration, but I'll show you just how much room there really is. It's actually fairly deep. You can at least fit half of me in here. So it's a little bit deeper than you would expect. At first glance, it doesn't seem too big, but when you actually start putting stuff in there, you realize just how big it really is. You got a cargo net through here and some little pouches on either side. Now, you've also got a spot here for some of your windshield wiper fluid. Let's go ahead and hop around to the side. Up front, we've got 19-inch, 5-spoke, bright silver aluminum painted wheels. We do have the Z51 package on this vehicle, so that's gonna give us the Michelin high performance tires. We've also got the Edge red brake calipers. 19s in the front, 20s in the rear. Here the profile looks really sleek and exotic in my opinion. I like through here how the door handle is actually hidden. It gives it a good look, but also provides better airflow and aerodynamics. Now we do have the body painted color roof. You can get that in several different options, but I think with the color and spec of this vehicle, the body color is the way to go. You can also get this portion here body colored, but I prefer the black to kind of break things up. As we work our way back here, we've got the Z51 spoiler on this vehicle. Comment down below, what do you guys prefer? Do you like it with the Z51 spoiler, or do you like it without? Up top, we've got our rear backup camera. Now, one thing I do like on the coupe versus the convertible is the fact that you can actually see the engine compartment. We've got this glass piece here, and it's interesting because it's not connected down here at the bottom, and the venting here on the sides goes straight into the engine. So if it rains outside or you go through a car wash, water will get into the engine compartment. Of course, it's been designed to withstand that, but it's just something interesting to note. Let's go ahead and take a look at the engine. I'll open up this rear hatch here for you. This reveals our 6.2 liter V8 producing 495 horsepower and 470 pound-foot of torque. We do have the engine appearance package, which gives you the carbon fiber here on the outer sides. Also got some nice lighting to illuminate the engine at night. And back here is the cargo compartment for the rear trunk space. We got some netting through here, some hooks, some lighting, and also a place where you can store the removable hardtop. As you shut this, once you get it down most of the way, that last little bit, it will do a soft close for you. I like the overall shape and design of the rear end of this vehicle, especially like these lights. They look really good in the daytime and also at night. And I like the blacked out Corvette badging through here. We do have a dual exhaust, 2 on both sides. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that. Man, I really feel like that Z51 Performance exhaust complements that V8. Let's go ahead and take a look on the interior. All right, starting right out with our square, circle, squircle is the term that they coined for this steering wheel. We've got the natural center indicator up top. That is the interior color of this vehicle, natural. 2LT interior with the GT2 bucket seats. I love that carbon fiber halo back through there. I love the Corvette logo embossed on the headrest. Some pretty contrasting stitching throughout this vehicle. And I'll show you this too. Down here, in this little cubby down here, is how you pop the front and the rear trunk as well. Here's one of our 14 Bose Performance Series speakers. Let's go ahead and fire this vehicle up. Push to start. It fires up to life. I love the digital instrument cluster, 12 inches there and 8 inches over here on this touchscreen. You got your typical, music, navigation, different settings that you can customize throughout here. Now this is how you're going to be changing between your different modes in this vehicle. Simply turning this knob over to the right or left will change you between the different modes, and as you do, you'll see it changes the configuration of what you see up on the screen, and it's also going to change the configuration of the vehicle as well. This is how you change between the different gears. It doesn't have your typical, shift stalk right here or anything up there. This is how you change. So pulling back would put you into drive, pushing P will put you into park, and this is how you go into manual mode. Through here is all the climate control. So this is one big strip for the passenger and driver climate controls, and that is indicated by that little arrow up there at the top. That takes a little getting used to at first because I wasn't sure whose was whose, but that arrow down here and up here indicates which it controls. We've got just a cup holder through here. Center console has got some USB connectivity on the backside, and this is the wireless charging station for your device. Got a speaker up here. It says Corvette Stingray on that, and then if you look back there, there's the Magic, the rear engine or mid engine of this Corvette. As we come up through here, pretty much just your typical things. Got your OnStar, SOS, hazards. Now if you put down the visors, this is how you're going to be removing the hardtop, release those, and then push down there. So before we go out and take it for a drive, I'll show you a few more things. This is how you turn off the traction control. We do have the optional front lift in this vehicle, and here's the front camera, which is perfect for pulling up to curbs or in and out of steep surfaces. It shows you a full front angle and then left and right view as well. Here's the rear camera, which is great as well. This is really crisp and clean. And then lastly, we got these paddle shifters mounted to the steering wheel. They've got a really good feel to them, very substantial, big paddle shifters, so you can get a full good grip of them. But it's kind of interesting. They've got a, metal feel to them. And if you look back here, this is where the vent comes out. So if you got it on AC, you're actually going to be kind of cooling them, and it almost gets really cold after you've had the AC on for a while. So your fingertips might get a little bit cold if you're paddle shifting with the AC on full blast, but no worries there. Let's go ahead and take it for a drive. Behind the wheel and almost on the road. First we gotta get out of the driveway. Thankfully we have the front lift option. So at the press of the button, this vehicle will raise about 2 inches in 3 seconds, so long as you're going under 24 miles an hour. And it's nice because you can remember the location, and GPS will track you, and anytime you pull into that specific location, it'll know to automatically raise the vehicle. Super handy feature to give you extra clearance. So as always, we'll touch on comfortability, then we'll get into some of the driving, accelerations, downshifts, and then your and my favorite, launch control. So as far as comfortability goes, I'm 6'5" tall, again for point of reference. I've got a couple inches of headroom, which is nice. Now if I put my head back on the headrest, this back portion here, my head is touching that part of the roof, so I've been riding up just a little bit farther forward than I normally would, but it's nice because on this 8th generation, I actually bought myself a little bit of extra leg room with the overall layout. And if you actually look at this vehicle from a skeleton perspective, when your foot is on the dead pedal, it's only just a few inches behind that front wheel. With just the way that this vehicle's been shifted back, it also allowed you to extend up in the front as far as your legroom goes. So I've really appreciated that. Visibility out the front is good. Side view mirrors is fine. Rear view mirrors is interesting. You get about a half split between engine, and then through that glass portion you can see the road behind you. However, if you want to see all of it, you can flip down this switch here. That'll give you a full HD camera view, real time, of everything that is behind you. So I've definitely been utilizing that quite a bit. Now, if you want to forego your different safety alerts and features and just do the typical over the shoulder approach, if you look out to the left, you got a blind spot right here. I mean, this portion pretty much takes up a lot of your visibility when you're looking out over your shoulder. And if you look over to the right, you're pretty much just gonna see a lot of your engine compartment back there as well. So as far as looking at the rear, best to utilize the camera up here or the rear backup camera as well. Another thing to note, I like to ride sometimes with my arm kind of out the window when I have the window down. With the way that this is designed, it's very hard to do that, nearly impossible. Again, at my height, I got a tall torso and I'm having a lot of trouble getting my arm up this high. So if there was anyone shorter driving this vehicle, they'd really have to be up high for sure. So I'll actually roll down the window here and show you what I mean. So like I said, I like to kind of hang with my arm out sometimes, get a little fresh air, but it's just really high up and it's just in such an awkward position, you really can't do it. Now down here is nice and it feels comfortable, but again, if you want to put on this second layer, probably not the best option in most scenarios. We're passing another C8 right there. He gave me the little Corvette wave. He didn't give me the wave, he gave me the Corvette flash. He flashed his lights at me, so that's pretty cool. Pretty rare seeing two C8s on the road at the same time. At least in Brentwood, there's only about a half dozen I've seen floating around. So the fact that we saw about a third of them in one street is pretty cool. So I've you know, enjoyed driving this. It's got a lot of attention, I will say. You know, people give me thumbs up, people taking photos, making, you know, comments about it, and I've enjoyed that. And I think, you know, people might not realize that this is the new 2021 color of red mist. They made us see a flashy, you know, red maroon type car, and, you know, think it's pretty impressive, but the chances of people having seen this is probably pretty slim, because again, 2021s are still rolling out. This is a new color, and it's just been fun. You know, people definitely appreciate it. People definitely like seeing it out on the road, and I think it's going to be that way for the months and years to come with this 8th generation Corvette. Driving a tour right now, but I'll press the Z button, and in just a matter of seconds, it will configure the vehicle to my specific settings. So I got my engine sound all the way up, engine shift and feel all the way up, brake all the way up. I put the suspension down lower just for purposes of filming, so it's not too stiff of a ride. Now, if we were out on the track or wanted to do more spirited driving, then that would be ideal to kind of ratchet up that suspension. But just, you know, in an instant, this vehicle changes from a normal daily driver to, you know, whatever you want it to be. And in this case, I set it up to be a little bit more loud and fun. So we'll go ahead and do a downshift here, D3, D2. This vehicle's really smooth. It's got the dual clutch 8-speed transmission, which is really smooth as well, and it's got a feature that I like as well. So if you pull the plus and minus paddle at the same time, that will essentially act as like a clutch on a manual vehicle. So check this out. So I'll pull them both at the same time, and I can actually give it a couple revs while I'm driving. I didn't need to pop it into neutral. I didn't need to change anything on the gears. I just simply pulled the paddles back, held them down at the same time, and just could do some cool little revs. So I definitely like that. I think that's a cool little handy feature, and I actually didn't realize that was a possibility when I did the first review, so I'm glad I noticed it now, because it's been kind of fun to be cruising around a little bit and then again just pop them in, give it a little rev to let people know that you're coming. That Z51 Performance exhaust, you know, sounds really good. We've also got the Z51 Performance Suspension with the magnetic selective ride control, and also the performance traction management. So this vehicle is really intelligent. It's doing a lot of calculations, you know, every almost like millisecond. It's calculating what's best for this vehicle to make it the smoothest and most efficient ride possible. And all this is kind of going on behind the scenes, so you can really focus on the driving experience while it does all of its little inner workings and magic. We've also got the Z51 brakes, so this vehicle's got a lot of go, but it's also got to have some good stopping power as well. We've got an electronic limited slip differential. We've also got a Z51 rear axle. So again, everything in this vehicle is really designed and primed it to be a high performance vehicle. We're gonna go ahead and pop it over into manual now, and I found that to be the most exciting driving experience. I'm still in sport But I'm gonna use the paddle shifters to go down to D3 or M3, M2. Power comes on quick and the speed will get up there before you know it, so you got to keep an eye on that for sure. Now I've tracked one of these vehicles and it's been a really fun experience. I mean, I hit close to 130 on the straight, and you know, it feels like there's been a lot of carryover when I'm driving on the street. You know, after being on the track on this, I feel like every line and every curve I see is like, you know, being out on the track almost. I feel like I can, you know, hit the apex of a corner coming into a roundabout, and it's a really a sporty vehicle, and you feel like you're on the track even when you're on the road. And of course, conversely, you could just daily drive it, pop it over into tour mode, have everything pretty much scaled back, and just, you know, drive around town normal. But if you really want to feel sporty, I mean, you could even pop it over into track mode. That's going to change the tachometer to where it's just RPMs across the top in a bar type format, and you really feel like you're extra sporty. So we'll come around this roundabout here and we'll just come through, and again, that performance suspension putting in work as we come out. It's just really a really smooth and fun driving experience. I've really enjoyed my time in it. I will say one thing that's taking a little getting used to if you've never driven a mid-engine vehicle is the fact that the engine is literally right here behind your head. I mean, of course there's a glass partition separating it, but it's right back there, and that's something I didn't notice when I was driving the C8 convertible, because I think it had all the different, you know, the different heat shielding, and it had the roof folded up on top of it when I was driving some of the times. I didn't really notice the engine noise as much, but here in the coupe, you definitely hear it. Now, it's not overbearing or anything by any means, but you will hear some of the different interchange things and inner workings, and as you're, you know, accelerating up, going higher in the RPMs, you'll start to hear it. So just something worth noting, and it's just been an interesting experience to say the least. Obviously, with the mid-engine design, that's going to allow for better performance, better handling, more power, you know, more speed. So that's been their reasoning kind of to switch up their, you know, front engine design for so many years and move it to the rear. I do like the fact that this vehicle, the power is manageable. So it's just under 500 horsepower, but I feel really safe when I'm driving it. I feel like it just puts the power down well and smooth, and it's not like I'm, you know, really scared to floor it. Now, if the tires were cold and it was, you know, worse conditions than it is today, you still gotta be careful because it will break loose, and it did break loose a couple times when I was accelerating early on in the week. So just be conscious of that, but so long as the weather conditions are good, tires are warm, you shouldn't have any issue really kind of accelerating this and pushing this vehicle to its limits, so to speak. 0-60 time is listed on their website at 2.9. It's got a track tested top speed of 194 miles an hour. While I'll never hit that top speed or come anywhere close to it, I will be able to experience the 0-60 time, and hopefully we'll hit that 2.9 or better. So I saved the best for last for you guys. Gonna do a launch control. I have it in sport mode. I press traction control twice to put me in the ESC competitive mode. We're gonna come to a complete stop here. Foot all the way down the brake. We'll accelerate up to 3,500 RPM. Wow, 0-60 in 2.9 seconds on my first try in sport mode. That is pretty awesome. Wow, that was really, really quick. I kind of want to do one more, just one more for good measure. I think we're gonna get 2.9. I've seen people get lower, but we're gonna give it a try here and see. That's awesome. That is so awesome. That is so cool how that, like, wow. Sub 3 second 0-60 from a completely stock car on just a regular old launch. It's really kind of scary when you got that 3,500 RPM locked in. It's like you're like on a bull and they're about to open up the gate, and you know, and the second you let off your brake, you know, it's go time. It's time to get riding. So that's pretty exciting. So I'm gonna try this one in track mode. I have the performance traction over in dry mode. Go and come to a stop. 2.8. 2.8 seconds. We did it, guys. That was exciting. I kind of set it a goal of myself to see if I could break that 2.9, and we did it. 2.8. That was in track mode, performance traction management on the dry setting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video review. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down in the comment section below. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And thanks again to Chevrolet for the opportunity.